This is Algebra 1, Lesson 12, Practice. Simplify. For A, we see we have some symbols of inclusion, so we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this. Okay? Inside those parentheses, we have -3 minus 2, which is just like -3 plus a -2, right? If we wanted to separate them, which is going to be -5. And we're going to keep the parentheses because there's a multiplication indicated here between the parentheses. -4 minus 1 is like a -4 plus a -1. So that's -5. Now we do our multiplications, and -5 times -5 is positive 25. And that's your final answer. B. Symbols of inclusion, symbols of inclusion. 6 minus 2 is 4. And I wrote the parentheses, but there's not a multiplication indicated, so I don't think I need those. I can bring down the minus. 4 minus 6 is -2. So now I have 4 minus a -2, which if you group them, that's like 4 plus the opposite of -2, which is +2. And that's going to equal 6 as your final answer. C. Symbols of inclusion here and here. Copy down everything else that's left. Leave the parentheses because there's a multiplication indicated. -3 minus 3 would be -6 plus 2 indicated multiplication here, so leave the parentheses. 1 minus 3 is -2. Now we'll do our multiplications. Here's 1 and here's 1. -5 times -6 is +30 plus 2 times -2 is -4. Now we have 30 plus a -4. So that means you would subtract them and get 26 and take the sign of the one with the largest absolute value, so it's positive. Last one, D. Symbols of inclusion. You have some here. There's nothing to do in here, so we won't worry about that. And there's nothing to do in here, so we won't worry about that. So we'll copy everything else over, and maybe I'll go to the side. -3 times 10 minus 8 is 2 minus -4 over 4 minus 3 times -3 minus 13. Now let's go through and do our multiplications. Here's 1 and here's 1. -3 times 2 is -6, and then we have minus a -4. And we don't have to have those parentheses there. There's no multiplication, so I'm going to leave them out. Then I have in the denominator 4 minus 3 times -3 is -9, and then minus 13. Now let's simplify this a little bit. That is the same as, if I circle the things, might help you to see it, -6 plus the opposite of -4 is +4. And then 4 plus the opposite of -9 is +9. And then plus a -13. Now let's do the numerator. -6 plus 4. Subtract them since they have different signs. Keep the sign of the one that has the largest absolute value. In the denominator, let's add the positives. We get 13, and then combine that with the negatives, which is -13, so you end up with 0. When you have a 0 that's under in the fraction, remember that means it is undefined. And so your answer for letter D is undefined.